actually makes me think that maybe she's still drinking the tea, and that actually makes my argument stronger.
Well, if you win on the tea bet, does that mean you also win on Andrea because it doesn't count because she was under the influence, and really she would be?
Yes, we can make that. Yes.
Too bad there's no tea.
Milton's there. Milton's brewing it. Doesn't he look all clean like he'd brew tea?
You can be a ratty, dirty tea brewer.
He's the cleanest man in Woodbury.
I'm going to bust your tea making stereotypes.
Fine.
I'm going to roll around in the mud and make some delicious tea.
Don't expect me to drink it.
Say, would you like some tea?
No.
It's very good. It's mint with chamomile. People don't like when I slurp. Okay, so let's get going. So I wanted to thank everybody who left messages for Glenn Mazzara. We got a bunch of them. I finally got around to kind of calling them all together. It was 12 and a half minutes of pure fan appreciation and sent them to him. And he sent me an email back about 20 minutes later saying he was in tears. So that was sweet.
Don't ever send anything like that to me again, you jerk.
Have to listen to that crap? No, I'm just kidding. No, he said, I'm in tears. Thank you. And then he wrote back a little later, thanks so much for putting that together. It really meant the world to me and my wife. The past few months have been surreal to say the least, and the support from the fans have made all the difference. Thank you.
Man.
So I hope you guys who did that feel good about that, because that was like the best response we could have had. I just really wanted to let him know that we appreciated what he's done, and you guys totally accomplished that.
Thank you, listeners. Thanks, Jason. That is good.
That was cool. We might have some new listeners. Welcome if we do. And the way this show works is we do what's called Deadcast Top 5, where we have our top 5 highlights of this week's episode. So we'll do that first. Then we'll have some news about The Walking Dead. Then we'll get into some listener emails and other communications and stuff like that called Listener Moans, Groans, and Grunts. We'll have a little short section on what's coming up next week on The Walking Dead. And this week we're doing a quick, mostly spoiler-free review of Warm Bodies, which Karen and I watched a few days ago.
Yeah. And at any given moment, we're likely to make a bet that I usually win.
Yeah,
beer,
that happens,
beer-based.
except for the last half.
And by the way, hi to our live chatters. Just want to say hi to our live chatters.
Yeah. Hi to our live chatters. During
the season when it's on, you can log in and you can chat with us live.
You can come at 4:30 p.m. and wait for us to start
Pacific time,
which usually is 4:45 or somewhere around there.
Well, you gave fair warning this time.
WalkingDeadcast.com/live. Mm-hmm. We might start right at 4:30, so you should get there right at 4:30 and then wait for us to start at 4:45.
Get there. That's usually how it works. 3:30.
If you come at 4:45, we will have been going for 15 minutes. It's Murphy's Law. Before we get into the Deadcast Top 5, we will now have some pre-show banter. So if you hate pre-show banter, you can skip to the next section now. But I just thought, since it's been a while since we last podcasted, we'd just talk a little bit about what we've been doing since then.
Okay.
So one thing we did was watch Super Bowl. You had an awesome get together with your friends who are chefs, I guess.
Yeah.
They made the best Super Bowl food I've ever had.
Aww,
this was a great Super Bowl. I mean, actually, it was super disappointing because we're here in San Francisco and they didn't show the Walking Dead commercials here in San Francisco. So I was so bummed.
Did they show them somewhere else?
Yeah, they did.
What?
I was a little miffed that the Niners lost too, but mostly it was all about the commercials.
They showed them somewhere else, huh?
Yeah, in other markets.
They had a lot of time to kill. You think that they...
I know. I don't know. But I heard reports of different commercials showing in different markets, so I guess they don't just all show everywhere. But this was an awesome party because your brother is he always like that fanatical about sports?
Yes.
I thought maybe he had like mortgaged his house and bet all his money on the game or something.
He acts like it, doesn't he?
Yes, because when something bad, he just looks so upset.
Right.
But if they did, like they completed a pass, sometimes he'd jump up and high five all the other guys in the room. No exaggeration. And I'm not into sports and I don't, really care all that much. So I was just sort of sitting over in the corner like looking up to see if he would turn around to high five me. And one time he turned around and looked at me, and then he just put his hand because he could see the look. But then another time, because I don't care that much, but it's hard not to care when the other people in the room care so much. So I started to care, and I think he could see my care meter rising, because one time he turned around, we just totally gave each other a high five.
Yes, dude. Yeah. You know, the cutest thing in the whole world though is Nico. Nico is in the stage where he's like a little puppy, and he was cavorting around the room. He's 1.5. Oh my god,
he's
so
picking
cute.
up on the energy, so he was just yelling, yeah, even though he doesn't know what the hell is going on.
No, that's pretty much what everyone sounded like.
Yeah,
and he staggered around like he was drunk, which
just
pretty
like
much
exactly. And also want to just give a quick shout out to Karen's friend Kylie.
Yeah,
he's I know he's listened, and this is the first time I got to meet him. Super nice guy.
Hi, Kai.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
I watched all of House of Cards.
You watched the whole thing in one weekend?
This new, I mean, I think there have been one or two like this before, but Netflix is trying to become HBO, but they're doing their own special spin on it where they see that people have been binge watching TV, so they decided this brand new show, they just put out all the episodes all on the same day.
And was it binge worthy?
I'd say so. I mean, I thought it was it's a political thriller, and it's like if you enjoy all the political backstabbing that goes on, which I don't like that it happens, but I do kind of get into it. Well, that's what this show is about. It's total political backstabbing, and it's very complex. It's sort of like a modern day Game of Thrones, you know?
Yeah. This is actually a remake.
Of some British show.
And David's father was hooked on it.
Kevin Spacey. I thought it was really good. Yeah. Not the best, but really good.
Right.
And I liked it a lot.
Aww.
So I did that. I'll just go through the rest of my list here. I read Wind Through the Keyhole, which is a Stephen King book set in the Dark Tower universe. He hasn't written one for many years, and we thought he was done with the series. He put this one out. I was highly disappointed with the ending of that. He's one of Lindelof's heroes, by the way, and I could see why. But this book was sort of a little complete in and of itself. Didn't really have much to do with the overall story, but it was very well written, and this little fantasy and some twistedness to it. I highly recommend it. Short.
I still have 11/22/63. I think that's the name of it. And I still have it on
audio.
And maybe you need to read it. So
I heard that was one of his better ones.
Yeah. Maybe you need to read it, and we need to get with the listeners and make that one of our books that we read together.
Okay, like yeah. You read it first, and then tell me if it's any good, and if you like it, then I'll do it too.
Sounds good.
And then finally, I've been listening to this new, or it's new for me, podcast called The Because Show. It's these three women. I think they're around our age. They're super cool. Like, they're cooler than us, I think.
Is that possible? Yeah, unfortunately, it really is.
They're great because they just talk about whatever they feel like. They were kind of my inspiration to talk about microbreweries last time.
Yeah.
Because I see they just ask the listeners what they want them to talk about, and then they talk about it. And they give like really good pointers. And they talk about finances and, you know, how to keep your shit together financially, but they're also really funny, and they talk about really frank subjects like sex toys. You know, they're very honest and authentic, and they're clever, and it's skewed towards kind of feminine subjects, I'd say, but they do it in such a frank way that it's like I get a window into the womanly mind or something.
Maybe we need to interview them at some point.
Yeah, totally.
That might be fun.
Yeah, but right now I'm just enjoying kind of getting to know. It's Amy, Geraldine, and Susan. So I recommend this show. It's called The Because Show.
I'm going to subscribe.
Yeah, you should. I want to hear what you think of it.
Okay, I'll come back next time and I'll tell you.
All right. Is there anything else you want to mention about what you've been doing since we last podcasted?
I think I mentioned I read Gone Girl, which was fabulous. Read Gone Girl. I don't care who you are. Read Gone Girl. You'll love it.
Even if you can't read.
Even if you can't read. Read it anyway. And I just finished a book. I've been getting into these psychological thrillers, and there's one called The Likeness by an author named Tana French, and
never heard of it.
Super good. And I went down to the Rose Bowl and watched Stanford win. Just saying, Cardinal.
Yeah, we already talked about that too.
Did we? Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean since the last? Did you do all of these things since we last podcast?
Yes. That's the point. Since the last time we podcasted 3 weeks ago.
During the interim. I thought it was the total art. Fine. All right. I just read that book, The Likeness.
Good.
Done.
Okay, let's move on.
Fine.
Because Karen doesn't really do much. She just works.
Well, are we going to talk about the
I just got back from Yosemite yesterday. It was beautiful.
Did you have a good time?
Snowy. Yeah, Nico's first exposure to snow.
Did he
I went
dig it?
down with the sled, and kind of took it easy, and he loved it. And then it got away from me the second time, and I was going way too fast, and he loved that even more. But I was afraid we were going to tumble, and I was going to break his little neck.
He's a speed freak.
He loved it. Yeah.
Aww.
So it was so much fun.
He's the best. Swear to God.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
What people are actually here for.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's Deadcast Top 5 this week. It's Top 5 highlights for Season 3, Episode 9, The Suicide King.
Yep.
Why do you think it was called The Suicide King?
Because Rick is the guy that has the power to send people off, which is, 10 little Indians. He can make Tyrese's group go out, and it's basically suicide. I don't know.
Except when you kill somebody else, it's not suicide. It's only when you kill yourself.
I don't know.
But I know somebody mentioned, who was it? Oh, I went over to Lisa's and watched this. I think it was Jorah mentioned that Suicide King is the king in the deck of cards that has the sword stuck through his head.
That's it.
But that doesn't explain why it was called that in this episode. But it does seem like people are kind of self-destructing. Rick is going nuts. The governor, everything's collapsing around him. I mean, it's vague connection.
You would think they'd call that the One-Eyed Jack. Just saying.
Not the Queen of Hearts. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
But, I really wanted to like this episode, but I have to say it wasn't my favorite.
Nope.
It was probably my least favorite of the season.
I gave it, out of 5 brains, I gave it a 3.8.
Really? So I was wondering if you were going to disagree with me, but I'm glad we're on the same track here. I started out giving it a 3, but it started to get better towards the end, I thought. I mean, there were some good moments in it for sure, but I gave it a 3.5. Yeah,
it was just like, meh. I mean, It felt like a transitional episode.
That's exactly what I wrote right here.
Transitional episode.
Oh my God.
Everyone has to drink.
If we ever
that's funny.
have a drink where you drink when we agree, I wonder if people would drink a lot. They might.
We don't agree often.
Yeah, I thought not only did it feel, I mean, transitional episodes are fine.
Yes.
And, setting things up, but there were too many things that just felt kind of odd or unnatural or didn't quite work. Especially, can I go first?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, my first one is Daryl and Merle's fight scene in the arena. I think that just didn't work for me. First of all, you'd think you'd feel really tense about a scene like that, and I didn't. And I'm not sure why, but it didn't feel tense. And the whole thing with Merle saying, I got a plan here, just follow my lead. And then he turns around and starts fighting the zombies.
Yeah.
It's like, well, aren't the guys with the guns just probably going to shoot you? Or
right.
what does that
so
do?
what was the thing you did before?
Yeah.
And
then,
really makes sense.
Rick happened to show up and throw the smoke grenades, which seemed a little, I didn't like the staging of that. You didn't see Rick coming back there. They should have had it like a cavalry moment or something, but it's like he was creeping around. To me, that whole scene felt like when I was at Universal Studios recently and I went to see this show that was based on Waterworld. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, no.
Well, I love that movie, actually.
Did you really?
I know most people didn't. So they had these constructs that came right, and it was actually a great show, but it felt like an amusement park show. And I could see myself going to an amusement park and seeing this zombie arena thing,
Right.
Just like with the limitations of the amusement park, this was the best they could do or something.
right.
Which is harsh, but...
And it didn't need to be like that. I mean, it could have been
it would be really awesome.
It was thrilling at the season finale. I was really looking forward to that scene, and during the break, I was thinking, "Oh, this is great." I mean, I even think I mentioned it. I'm like, the Dixon boys, they're in trouble, and they were in trouble for about, I don't know, all of 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden Rick was there and it was kind of chaotic. And
I guess I didn't really believe the townspeople either. They just seemed so like they had this bloodlust, but it's like, it just seems like the director told them to do that.
Right.
But we haven't really seen any indication they'd be like that.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't dig that scene.
Yeah, I was with you. And actually I felt that way throughout the entire episode.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So so here's and I'm not even picking 5 favorites. I'm picking 5 things that sort of made an impact one way or another.
That's what we are supposed to do every time, by the way. That's why I changed it to
but
highlights.
I usually pick favorites. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always.
You know why I like to do highlights instead of favorites? Because I'll stick a favorite in here too. Usually the number one thing is my favorite, but if you do highlights, it's more about analyzing and dissecting.
Right.
And if you do favorites, you can fall into that trap where you're like, remember that one part? That was awesome.
Oh, it was cool.
Like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live.
Remember when you did that? Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
So anyway.
Okay, so and my number 5 is Andrea's crazy rally speech, followed by the giant big group hug. It seemed like a kind of a what the fuck moment. She says Woodbury will go down in history. Yeah, really, will it? What are you talking about? You're just a bunch of townspeople, that kind of got together and made some really poor decisions. And I mean, honestly, if it does, it'll be a cautionary tale, Andrea.
I don't know. I mean, they're the only place we've seen so far where people can relax, and there's somewhat of a successful community.
Prison. The prison's very relaxing.
Okay, everybody in Rick's group survived the whole winter until they got to the prison, whereupon 3 people immediately died. So I wouldn't call that very relaxing, and he went insane.
Now, insanity
so
can
my
be
point
very
is,
relaxing.
so far, it's been the only successful community that we've seen.
Yeah,
I think
that's
her
true.
point.
That's true, and it's not that way now.
No.
She does rally the troops, stops the villagers with the torches and the pitchforks and the weird luggage. I don't know if you noticed that, but they all have this old school luggage. They should have rolly carts. Everybody has rolly bags now. God.
They're so like bipolar too. Like the night before, they're like, kill him. And then something bad happens. They're like, let's get out of here. Right. And they're all at the door, like ready to, there's no like town hall meeting to just figure out what the good plan would be.
They're all piled into the truck
came.
like Jed Clampett. Yeah. Come on, we're going to Beverly. Yeah,
and there's like zombies outside and they're like, let us out to be among those zombies quick.
Right.
Any weapons.
Right. We don't know where we're going, but we're panicking. Yeah, that sort of felt forced. But I'm sure that the writer's like, well, we have to have a moment where she rallies the troops and then the governor will look down and see that she's rallying the troops and he'll be impressed and he'll put her in some sort of leadership position, which will put her in direct conflict with Rick's group. And that'll set up the dramatic tension in the future.
Yeah, it's like obvious hand of the author. But, if people tend to like our podcast because we're even-handed and balanced, and we love the show and we're enthusiastic and stuff too. So maybe we're not balanced. We're even a little more towards the enthusiastic side. But this is the episode, it sounds like, where you get to hear a little change. So enjoy it because it's not usual. And we hope that next week episode won't be like this. And I have some good things coming up too.
Yes,
but
I do too.
My number 4 is interesting. Andrea sticking with the governor. It's like ridiculous at this point.
Oh my God.
At the point where she said, why didn't you tell me that Maggie and Glenn were here? He says, you're just a visitor here, just passing through. So why should I tell you? And she says, don't drive me away. And it's like the total dichotomy of the bad boy abusing the woman and that just drawing her in even more, which happens, Sure. I mean, it makes me go, you stupid Andrea, you stupid, but it's not totally like, oh my God, this isn't how people act. So I'm okay with it.
In keeping with
her character so far.
Which is annoying.
Yeah. And then, yes, this whole thing about her being the cheerleader for the town. One thing I thought was interesting about her speech was it was all about persevering, which maybe is a clue into her character. Like when things go bad with her boyfriend, she's all about persevering with that too.
I don't know. She was about ready to check out. Remember back in the CDC? She
That's true.
Would have not
she wasn't
persevered.
About persevering at that point. She needed her future self to come back and give her a little pep talk.
Right. Or a bitch slap.
Yeah. And if Andrea from season 2, when Dale is trying to save her life, heard Andrea from this season, she would just say, "Leave me alone. Let me kill myself.
Yes,
let me run
my
into
choice.
the zombies and kill. It's my choice."
Right, exactly. Oh, maybe. Hey,
God,
Andrea,
she's crazy nut.
She really is. Maybe the nutty villagers want to go out there and see the zombies. It's their choice.
Yeah,
Let
leave
them
it
go.
up to them.
God.
Here, why don't you give them a knife while you're at it so they can stab themselves? She's a suicide queen.
Yes, she is. My number 2 is 3. Sorry, 3. Are we on 3 already?
Yeah. I've only done 5 and 4.
Okay, but you're right. Wow, what was that?
Oh wait, maybe you're on 4.
Did you hear that little bass note?
Yeah,
that was weird. Batshit crazy leaders. Oh, I'm swearing like a sailor today. Rick, batshit crazy. Being a leader is one thankless job. And so he hasn't had sleep in a while, and he's turning into a crazy kind of jerk. He won't shake Tyrese's hand, jerky. And he even criticized Oscar, also jerky. He's like, "Where's Oscar now?" Well, Oscar died fighting for you.
That wasn't what it was about.
Asshole.
I mean, I was trying to figure out what was going on with Rick because it seemed a little like inscrutable. But I think what they're getting at is he feels bad about Lori dying, right? And he was supposed to be taking care of her. So when these new people come and they want to join the group, to him, that's a responsibility. That's why he said, "I can't have you be my responsibility."
Yeah,
and that's why
I failed my wife.
Yes, and that's why she showed up right at that moment, because he's contemplating having to deal with more people being his responsibility. And then when they said, "What about Axel and Oscar?" and he said, "Well, look what happened to Oscar." That's basically saying, whenever I am responsible for people, they die. Yeah, so it was kind of not against Oscar.
Step down, Rick.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, well, if you can't handle it, take a break. Exactly. Maybe he doesn't even need to step down. And I think my prediction is that Tyrese, hopefully at least, will end up hanging out with a group, and maybe he'll be a competition for a leader role.
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I really, really hope so. Why wave your gun at your dead wife in a wedding dress? Yeah.
That was dumb.
Again, batshit crazy.
So that whole thing of, him seeing her and then yelling out, let's see, he's like, "Get out, you don't belong here." He's saying things that Tyrese would misinterpret as being said to him, right? That was the idea. So from Tyrese, he just sees Rick waving a gun around and saying, "Get out, you don't belong
around
here."
With a gun, yeah.
So he thinks he's talking to him. He's like, "Hey, we'll go." And that totally reminded me of something that would have happened on Three's Company, where they're always misinterpreting what's really happening on.
Come and knock on our door.
There's this one scene where Jack's helping Chrissy put up a shower curtain. Have you ever seen that while Mr. Furley's outside overhearing? Here it is.
"Okay, Chrissy, I'll get in the tub with you, then we can get it on."
Get next to me, I'll show you what to do.
This isn't exactly the first time I've ever done this.
Maybe so, but girls are better at this than boys.
Come on, Chrissy, a little less talk and a little more action, okay?
Okay, you do your part, I'll do mine. I don't think it'll reach.
Of course not. You've got to unfold it first.
That's what that scene reminded me of.
And who played Mr. Furley? What was his name?
Don Knotts.
Don Knotts with the big googly eyes.
Yeah.
And his googly eyes were like, you get to see his reaction the whole time. And
that
his
scene's
eyes
much
up.
better when he's standing outside going,
What? Unfolded. What? Yeah. You're right. This scene is just like that.
Yeah, it's in the tradition of a great show, so I guess we can give it that.
I've got a bullet for you.
Okay, my turn.
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 3 is Merle. I enjoyed Merle in this episode.
Did you?
Yeah, because he had some great lines. Here's I got a few here. Here's one.
Drop the sword.
If it wasn't for the thing.
Oh, he helped us get out of there.
Yeah, right after he beat the shit out of you.
Hey, we both took our licks, man.
Jackass.
Because to him, that's just the world he lives in. Hey, man, we fought.
Jackass.
It's cool. It's all good.
Yeah, what? We both got our licks.
Here's another one.
Hey, look like you're going native, brother.
No more than you hanging out with that psycho back there?
Oh, yeah, man. He is a charmer. I got to tell you that. Been putting the wood to your girlfriend Andrea big time, baby. Oh.
Then he shakes his tongue like
And he called Michonne his Nubian queen.
Yeah, that, and then he had a racist remark, which I don't have here, about how like she had her zombies in chains. Kind of ironic if you think about it.
Oh my god!
So he's not that lovable of a guy. I wouldn't say.
That.
Here's one more though that I thought was funny.
Oh man, look at this. Pathetic. All these guns and no bullets in me.
You better shut up.
Shut up yourself, bunch of pussies, you roll.
Asshole.
That was a great moment. That was one of my favorite moments.
The whole thing, or just that last?
Everything building up to the point where Rick clocks him
out,
like, brings him on the back.
It was
of the
entertaining.
Head. Yeah, I do like that. Just wish that somebody would duct tape his mouth shut. He'd be so. Yep. Actually, that brings me to my next one, which is the Dixon Boys on the Road. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the last time we're going to see these kooky guys.
I don't even think we're going to go one episode without Daryl. People are like, "Oh, I'm so upset," but
don't be upset, people.
No way.
Don't be upset. He's fine.
But my number 2 was just losing Daryl. That is one thing. I don't want Daryl to leave the show. And this episode, I've been sort of lukewarm on Daryl, and in some ways I still am, because I think he's too cool for school. But when he left the group, I felt bad. I was like, no, don't leave. And, but I like the whole dichotomy of him having to choose between his brother and the group. And I like that he's always shown that he's loyal to Merle and he wants to find Merle. And it felt right that he was like, nope, I'm going with Merle. But it was sad. And that, when Beth said, we're weak without him, I thought, oh, not totally, but yeah, you're weaker for sure. Much weaker.
I love that scene where she's talking to Carol, and she's talking about it to Carol, and Carol, who I really like her now. And she seems so calm and sensible about it. She's like, look, she described it as,
he has a code.
He has a code. It's completely keeping in character with him. And she said, we need more men like that. And I'm like, wow, Carol.
I like that too. But the whole analogy about, she said, if Ed came back in here, I'd like to think I wouldn't go with him. That doesn't quite fit, because she just seemed like she was done with Ed, and she didn't want to be with Ed anymore. But Daryl has always wanted to go back and find Merle, but still, it's something I could see her saying. Yeah. Totally fit. But it was, I liked her response to that. And at first, she was really upset, which made sense, but she kind of came to accept it. But I was trying to think, okay, who are the strong ones? Michonne's strong, but I kind of agree with Rick that I don't know if I'd be wanting to keep her around at this point based on what we see.
She doesn't say anything. She doesn't give any of the key information.
And she just kills wantonly.
It's pretty random.
She might be too dangerous.
I'm very disappointed how they've written her character, which is don't give her any lines.
I'm not. I mean, I think they will still, but I just, based on what we've seen too far, I think that Rick might be right and not. I think she's just sort of having PTSD, but do you really want someone who's having PTSD?
Right.
And then Tyrese, I bet, is strong, but we don't know him very well. Rick is strong, except he's losing his mind. Glenn is strong, I think, no matter what. Yeah. Maggie's pretty strong lately. Yep. And Carl's strong lately. So right now, I think the core of their strength.
Her show was pretty good this episode.
No, I'm saying as far as keeping them safe from the zombies.
Oh, no.
Glenn, Maggie, and Carl are the ones that are the strongest right now. And Rick, too, even though he's nuts.
I call in my head he's if his sister is a little ass kicker, Glenn is not Glenn. Carl is little headshot.
Little headshot. Hey, headshot. Get over here and do your chores.
And that Alan and Ben who wanted to take out Carl and Carol and like do a prison revolt.
It's just a little kid.
Yeah, they have no idea.
They're kind of right about Carol, but not Carl.
No, I don't even think they're right about Carol. They don't know. She's toughened up.
I don't know. She's a bad shot. We know that.
That's true.
Okay, your turn.
Tyrese and Sasha. I like that they've come to see. Here's something positive. I like how delightfully reasonable they are, and that's kind of a refreshing palate cleanser. I like their backstory about their survivalist nut neighbor. You know, who knew that we'd be actually they'd be hauling up there for months. So they actually spent I don't know how many months in his bunker.
I like that too. It was a little bit expository, but I guess that makes sense that you tell.
Prepared, folks. That's all I'm saying.
Nuclear bunkers are good.
Right. I like the fact that he's sort of funny. Him, the first brother that wanted to break into prison. They just seem pretty great. And tried to stop Crazy Alan and Ben from leading a revolt. They seem very, very reasonable. So I hope we see more of Tyrese and Sasha. And by the way, the actress who plays Sasha, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful.
Cute. The only thing about her is she had this sort of flash dance look going on with one strap hanging down over the shoulder.
Did you? And Andrea's always doing that.
It just is distracting, especially because she's so cute. It's like, oh, there's a fashion plate with the rest of the crew.
Yeah,
she has her hair done all nice.
Yeah, they all look way better than the situation with Merritt.
But they do. But at least their clothes are ratty, and she just looks like she stepped out of some. I mean, she's dirty, but I don't like that strap thing. They should not do that. They should not have that. It's a little too jaunty for the zombie apocalypse. Okay, my turn is, I already said it, but Ghost Lori. I thought it was very creepy, Ghost Lori. Mm-hmm. That was cool. The way she was in this gown and silent and dark and up high.
Do we know for sure it's Sarah Wayne Callies?
Yeah, well, it was her. I mean, we know because we saw her on TV.
Well, no, it was so dark it was hard to tell.
I'm pretty sure.
We even adjusted the brightness so we could see if it really was Sarah Wayne Callies, but it was very hard to tell.
Oh, I saw her, Sarah Wayne Callies, so they must have either gotten someone that looked just like her or else it was her.
Okay.
That's what I thought. And I thought it was, they want to have Rick being out of his mind. I've said it before when they had Daryl seeing Merle as a hallucination. I just don't like when they do stuff like that that's not really grounded in reality. And I don't think this is sort of analogous to military fighters who have PTSD. Mm-hmm. And I would like to ask, have you ever seen a hallucination of a person from your past that died,
No.
that looked clear as day? No, I don't think so. So it's, I guess, dramatic
On the other
license.
hand, I've never gone through a war type situation.
No, I'm saying I want to ask soldiers.
Right. Oh,
yeah, and I don't think so, but I guess it's dramatic. I mean, I don't think they would ever do something like this on, and probably sick of hearing me say this, but Breaking Bad or even Mad Men or something, And I want to see. I like this show when the zombies are the only thing that's not real and everything else is real. So
right.
I liked it okay, but I didn't love it.
Yep. Hey, did you know that there was a Greg Nicotero zombie, by the way?
Oh, I saw one that looked like him.
Yeah, it was Andrew Shoots Him. It's on the grassy median strip, eating a Woodbury dude near the cool little solar panels.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Like, that one looks like the one that was eating a deer back in episode 3 or whatever it was.
That was Greg Nicotero.
Okay, you have one more, right?
I do. Glenn getting all stampy on the zombie.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That was gross.
It was gross. It was really gross. I saw a little bit of Talking Dead, and he described that scene, and he said, at first it was the actor, and then they pulled the actor away, and they brought out his mannequin double, and they perforated the head so that he's like, not that I needed the perforations. And then they filled it with goo, basically. And they just said, go to town on it. That's what he did.
That's what he did.
Yep, get all stampy on it.
Stomp.
That was my zombie kill of the week, folks.
Yeah, that's a good one. It made me jump a little when the zombie was in the truck. Since you've seen more Talking Dead than I have, if we interview Hardwick, you should be there. So you
yes, I should.
Ask him why he always interrupts somber moments with a hashtag whatever.
Right. Hashtag Dixon guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag severed head.
Okay.
Okay, I had a couple notes. So zombie snuck in. I thought it was a little weird how zombies snuck in when Rick and company left Woodbury. They snuck into the wall there.
What?
And then the next day, as Andrea was out on the road, you heard that guy get attacked by I think it was, assume it was the zombies that snuck in.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But
what were they doing all night? They were just like hanging out. Nobody saw them.
They're very, very slow. Maybe they came in during the night, saw that there was nobody around, and then went back out, and then they came back
in. Okay,
I don't know.
I'll go with
that was the Greg Nicotero zombie that she heard.
Oh, okay. And then she had her gun in her hand, and she was staring down at this mangled dude, going, and this woman's like, "Somebody help him!" And then Andrea's standing there with her gun, and the woman who just asked somebody to help the guy looks at Andrea and goes, "Do something!" And it's like, well, what do you want her to do? Probably shoot him, I guess. I don't know. Then the governor comes out of his little hidey hole and pops him, and then goes back right back.
Right.
That was a little. See, that's what I mean. It's just things feel a little off.
Yeah, I agree.
The whole thing about Herschel telling Tyrese, we have a tight knit group, so I wouldn't get too comfortable here. And then Rick saying he doesn't want people around. It just reminded me back when Rick was on the other side of the fence. Trying to get Herschel to let him stay on their farm, and they wouldn't. And at first I was like, see, it doesn't make sense because Rick knows what it's like to be on the other side, but you have to give him some leeway. He's crazy. He's suffering now, and so he doesn't want to be responsible for anybody.
People have died under his watch, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but they can't send them outside.
Yeah. My favorite scene was with Maggie and Herschel. She just looks so deflated, and he's trying to cheer her up. He gives her some compliments, then he offers her some food, and she says no. And it's like, oh man, how depressing. And then he said, "Don't disappear on me." And I thought that was a great line. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I don't want her to like totally lose her spark. And then she just kind of leaned over on his shoulder, and hopefully she just needs to take a rest.
Everyone needs some rest from all the killing and the stamping. The killing and the stamping. I read somewhere that when the governor was talking about all the people who died, he was like, your people just killed blah, 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 blah. And one of the names he said was Heisenberg. Did you catch that?
He did not.
That's what one person said. I was like, did that happen?
I don't think so.
All right.
I didn't hear it.
Tell me, live chatters, did you guys hear did you guys hear Heisenberg?
And he said Darjulio or whatever that name was that Merle kept mispronouncing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we know that actually Michonne killed some of those people, not Rick's people.
Are you sure it wasn't Haley? Yeah, it was definitely, there was a Haley. Because little old Haley died. Was it Garguglio? Yeah, maybe.
That doesn't sound like Heisenberg.
No, it doesn't at all. That's funny. All right, that's our homework.
Okay,
go back and listen to those names.
Go check it out.
Okay.
All right, you ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the moves. Moo. Your turn. Okay, now let's do the news. This is a lot of news about Glenn Mazzara's departure from Walking Dead this week. But first, a guy from LuckyGunner.com wrote me and said he had this article about the gun that Rick carries, the Colt Python. I checked it out. It's really great. It's in depth. It's all about whether that would be a good gun in the zombie apocalypse.
Ooh.
There's illustrations, and it's just very well done. It starts out, quote, "I was wrong. The first time I saw Rick Grimes with his old-fashioned Colt Python on AMC's The Walking Dead, my first thought was, great, another show with lots of guns written by people who don't know the first thing about guns. While subsequent episodes have not changed my mind on that specific point, as the plot has unfolded, I've questioned my initial assumption that Grimes' signature revolver is an ignorant and impractical choice of a weapon. What follows is a summary of the history, factors, and circumstances that changed my mind." So it's, I'm not going to read the article, but if you want to check it out, I'll put a link to it on our show notes, and it's at luckygunner.com.
Cool.
Yeah. Next thing, this week's episode had 12.3 million viewers, which is the biggest audience for any single episode in the series history. So it's still growing, and breaking records and all that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens next week.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Too bad it wasn't more engaging, but okay.
Yeah. In an interview with Glenn Mazzara at HollywoodReporter.com, he stressed that, quote, "Everything about my decision to leave the show was about moving forward in season 4. And I've heard him say that before. And then in another interview on Vulture.com, they asked, "You're saying the creative differences with AMC began when you were discussing the plan for season 4 or midway through season 3? He says, "This is all a question of season 4 and beyond. It was a creative differences about how to push ahead with the story." So moving forward and push ahead makes me wonder if this is just conjecture, but they said, okay, to save money, we want season 4 to be in the prison again.
Oh my God, no.
And he's like, no, let's get out of there. People will want something new.
Yes.
Push forward, push
Yes.
forward. No.
Yes.
Yes. No. Yes. Okay. I'm leaving. Fine. Good. Go.
That could be.
Who knows?
That could be. God, we just don't know.
We don't know. In that same interview, they said, "We've talked about how you wanted the season to feel like a war zone and how it should feel like historical fiction. That wasn't Frank Darabont's vision in the first 2 seasons. Why did you make that shift?" He says, "I thought it was important to tell a story about this band of survivors, and some of the reading I had done on soldiers in battle is that each soldier ends up being willing to sacrifice their own life for the good of the group, and also that everyone fears letting their fellow soldiers down. No one wanted to be the weak link. I felt that paradigm was the only way that this group could survive, and that would be an endearing to an audience. It's a family fighting for survival, and that's what the TV shows are a lot of the time. They're family stories." He goes on, but I thought that was kind of an interesting take.
Yeah. Well, I've said it many times. This is not, I mean, it's not necessarily about zombies. It's about relationships and families.
Mm-hmm. And zombies.
Yes, and the zombies in your family.
I have a few of those. So on fasttocreate.com, there's an article where Glenn Mazzara compared being a showrunner to his old job of managing a hospital emergency room, which he did he worked in hospitals for like 13 years or something. And